What to do when someone ghosts you? The answer to that question is do nothing at all. Listen, if someone is ghosting you, there's something that you really, 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 really have to understand. It's not about you. Like, their ghosting you has nothing to do with you. It's not about something that you said. It's not about something that you did. It's not about something that you didn't say or didn't do. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It's just about them. And what they do also has nothing to do with you. Their behavior is not your fault, and it's also not your problem. It's not something that you need to fix or do something about or help them with or help them to get through or whatever it is. If somebody does not have the emotional maturity to talk to you, to send you a text message, to offer you any form of communication other than not communicating at all, other than choosing to absolutely not communicate with you at all, then you don't owe that person shit. And you really need to get that person out of your mind, because that person, guess what? That person ain't shit. Like, they really are not fucking anything worth hanging on to at all. It's not your fault. It's nothing that you did. It's not a reflection on anything that you brought to the table. And there are different times at which people might choose to ghost you. Sometimes ghosting happens like right in the beginning of a beginning of a relationship, or just a beginning of a communication with someone, or very shortly after you've met them, not very long afterwards. It could be within a week of meeting them. It could be within a couple of weeks of meeting them. And then other times ghosting happens at a terrible time. It happens when you've been with this person for quite a while, like several months have passed, maybe a year has passed. And often when people ask me about this, if they've been speaking to someone, and sometimes it's long distance, and other times like they are actually quite close. I mean, anybody would describe them as quite close. They see them together all the time, and they always spend time together. So it's very confusing, and it's something that's very difficult to deal with, and something also that's very difficult to accept, of course, because it forces you to ask yourself so many questions. But at the end of the day, all of those questions are irrelevant, because the ghosting has nothing to do with you. The only truth in the fact that the person has ghosted you is that this person ain't shit. Like, they really are not worth the time and effort, and the time and effort that you did spend on them has gone. So that's upsetting to deal with, and it's something that's hard to accept, and it's hard to process. It's something that maybe you would outright refuse to accept and process. It's something that you wouldn't want to accept, so you try and come up with a reason for why this may have happened, or you try your best to believe that maybe it's a temporary situation, and that they'll come around and they'll get their act together, and they'll realize that what they're doing is silly, and that you're a wonderful person and you're there waiting for them. That's not going to happen. And even if it does happen, like, really, really think about this. What do you want to happen with a person who is like that? Like, do you want to marry them? Do you want to be married to a person like that? Do you want to have kids with a person like that? Like, really think about it down the line, and try and detach yourself from what you expected, what you hoped to happen, or try and detach from the future planning that you have. Maybe you have a trip planned, maybe you have some sort of special occasion planned, or maybe it's your birthday coming up, or their birthday coming up, maybe it's a special holiday coming up, or whatever it is. You oftentimes will attach future emotions to this, so we'll get excited about things, we'll be happy about it, and therefore if something doesn't work out, like let's say somebody ghosts us, or even if we don't want to continue to be in a relationship with them, we'll often put it off because of this future event that we have planned. So try and detach yourself from things like that as well, because at the end of the day, those things are not real. They're just part of your imagination. And you can do that with someone else, or you can just do it with yourself, or you can do it with friends or family. It doesn't have to be with that one person who ain't shit. Trust me when I say that somebody who ghosts you ain't shit. Like, they are not a real fucking person. You should not have that person in your life. Somebody who ghosts you, take that as confirmation that yes, this person is out the door and they are not coming back. I am not going to let them come back. Even if they want to come back, I'm going to decline their offer because they are not worth having around. Like I said, like I just said, like really think about it. Do you really want to have that kind of person in your life? And if you're thinking to yourself that, well, you know, I really love them and I really think that they'll change and, you know, they just don't know any better, like they need to learn how to communicate better, or, you know, they need to learn how to express themselves better, or they need to know that I'm there for them and, you know, they don't need to be scared and run away and not talk to me. Like they just need to know that I'm here and I'll always forgive them and I'll always be there for them. Why? Why do you need to forgive that person? Why do you need to always be there for that person? Trust me, you don't. You don't need those things. What you need to do is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for not seeing who this person really was, or being fooled by them, or allowing them to love bomb you and then leave you. Forgive yourself for that and try and process that and grieve it. To process that, what that means is to think about the things that happened and feel sad about that, or whatever it is you feel. Like honor that feeling and sit with it. Like don't try and stop it. Don't try and do something to distract yourself from it. And also sit with the feelings of the things that didn't happen, these things that you were anticipating to happen, or also things that just didn't happen at all. Like time has passed and those things didn't happen at all. Perhaps they weren't truly affectionate enough with you, or, you know, they didn't provide you with the things that you actually really needed, but you hoped that perhaps one day they would, or you thought that these things would come eventually in the future. So those are things that didn't happen that you can also grieve and really sit with the feeling of those things and how it makes you feel that those things didn't happen and that you'd wish that they had. Really sit with those feelings and allow them to take as much time as they need to be felt and to be expressed, and then just let them pass. And this is how you grieve and mourn, rather than holding on to something that is not real. Somebody who ghosts you is not real. They really are not a real person. And they, even if they went for therapy, even if they learned how to be a better person, like that would take a lot of time. It's not something that would happen overnight. It's not something that would even happen within 1 year. And this is where you need to like be kind to yourself, and this is where you need to reverse that exchange that you've been providing them and start to provide it to yourself. This is where you need to say to yourself, you know what? The person who I am going to be here for, no matter what, is me. I am going to think of myself in those terms. I am going to look after me. I'm going to wait for me to get better and to feel better about this. I'm going to give myself enough time to grieve this loss and to really feel it. And to honor it, whether that person was a scumbag or not. Like, you still need to grieve how you felt, and there's nothing wrong with how you felt. It was not wrong to feel feelings for this person. It was right. You're right, and you're a good person. You're a really kind and wonderful and beautiful person, and you owe yourself that much love and respect, that you know that you're going to look after yourself no matter what, and you're going to give yourself that level of kindness and that level of understanding and that level of patience for yourself. So take as much time as you need, reflect on these things, write about them, talk about them, sing about them, dance about them, do some interpretive dance, do whatever you want to make you feel good about yourself. Draw about them, paint about them, build something, go out in nature, do something creative, do whatever you need to do, or just sit there and look at the freaking ceiling. Like, just do what you need to do to feel better about this and to honor yourself and to give yourself the time and the love and the patience that you need, which you've been giving away for free to this scumbag person who went ahead and ghosted you. Like, what I really want you to take away from this video is the person that ghosts you is not your person. They really aren't. And there's so many reasons why they're not your person, but it's important to just know that they're not your person. I mean, you can spend a lot of time trying to dissect it and analyze it and look at it from many different perspectives and really try to understand and finally be able to accept why they are not your person. But let me save you the grief. I'm just going to tell you right now, the person that ghosts you is not your person, and they can go and get to fuck. Thank you very much. I'll make another video in a couple of days. Take care.